What's good, Facebook? What's good? It's your boy Just Justin for another installment of the best sports show on the NBS network, the Nothing But Sports Show, the first, the original, and of course the best. It's your boy Just Justin, and I got my guy to my right. Why don't you introduce yourself to those who don't know?
Listen here, man. We not just the best in NBS Central. We're the best, period. Okay?
Preach.
And this is your boy, Mr. Red Charles, aka thatdude.com, aka the greatest sports analyst to ever bless the sports ways. Hashtag sipping wine with my boy. Hashtag let's get it. Cheers. Let's begin, brother.
Well, I kind of nickname ourselves the Bougie Brothers because every week we're gonna sip on some wine and school these other guys at the NBS Central brand on how sports is really supposed to be debated.
Hey, hold up. Leave the glass up. While we sip on wine and deliver the great news, the great business, they sip on hate. We sip on greatness. We don't sip on hate, we sip on greatness. Toast and cheers to that.
I'll sip to that.
Yes, sir. Let's
All right. Well, it's a
begin.
busy week in sports. We got baseball going on. We got the NBA championship going on. We got training camp going on. We got the Olympics starting this week. We got UFC fights going on. It's a busy week this week. So we're gonna start with the biggest story of the week is the NBA championship. Giannis finally getting his championship, and Milwaukee getting their second championship in 50 years.
Yes.
What are you talking
Um, Before we begin, man, I definitely want to send a special shout out to Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak, Giannis, and the Milwaukee Bucks, Chris Middleton and company for winning the NBA championship after being down 2-0. Deciding, to make some adjustments, and Giannis decided, you know what, I'm tired of shooting the three. It's my time. This is my team. It's time for me to just take over. And he did that. He delivered. What I'm going to say is this, and I loved how Giannis pulled this off. And for 8 years, he stuck with the same team. He stuck with the same team. He rolled, ride or die. He was one of the worst players on the team at one point when he was drafted. And him and Chris Middleton stuck it out together, being one of the worst teams in the league, going through the mud together, getting to the playoffs. Giannis saying, you know what, I'm going to re-sign here and I'm going to deliver a championship to Milwaukee. And then a year later, you actually do it. Like, that's actually very impressive. I just want to say, it was great basketball. It was, for a basketball aficionado like myself, I enjoyed the fact that I got to see real, plays being ran. It wasn't no ISO basketball and whatnot. And lastly, I need to address Truex, the sports junkie, because he said some very ludicrous things on Let's Talk About It, or I'm not sure, the battle rap show. I don't know what I don't know what they call themselves, but let me just address this, okay? Chris Middleton is a top 10 NBA player actively, okay? And here's why. Justin, you're muted. Justin, you're muted.
what?
So Chris Middleton, in my opinion, is a top 10 guy. I just really wanted to address this. I'm sorry. First of all, if we're going to talk about James Harden, he doesn't deliver in the playoffs. If we're gonna talk about Russell Westbrook, he doesn't deliver in the playoffs. Chris Paul doesn't deliver. Yes, I can.
I was going to give you a chance to take that back this week because I thought given a week after maybe you sobered up last week, I thought maybe come to your senses.
No, I never said top 5. I never said top 5. I said top 10.
He's not top 10. I'll let you. I'll let you make a fool out of yourself,
bro. Okay, outside of LeBron, Giannis, KD, okay, and Steph, you gonna put James Harden over Chris Middleton? Chris Middleton plays both ends of the floor. Chris Middleton plays both ends of the floor. James Harden never plays defense. Ever. Ever. Y'all like what look like, everyone likes what looks good. James Harden looks sexy until it's time for the playoffs. It looks nice from November to April, but when May comes around, it looks terrible. I'm gonna say it. All you basketball whatevers like James Harden. I don't get it. You got Chris Middleton over here who gets it from the mud, defends on both ends, shoots the ball at a great clip. The dude is a stud. If y'all telling me he's not even, if y'all telling me there are 10 players outside of, again, I'm saying this again, outside of LeBron, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and I'm going to even go as far as saying Kawhi Leonard. After that, somebody.
Russell Westbrook.
He ain't won a title.
So
this man dropped 40
basing your top 10 players based on how many titles you win?
Oh, wait. Let me break something down. Russell Westbrook got to the finals, right? What did he do in the finals? Disappeared. Chris Middleton scored 40 points in the finals. He defended on both ends. If you we're looking at Chris Middleton like he's a bum. Like Chris Middleton's not a bum. And Chris Middleton is not top 15. I'm sorry. He's not, like, if anybody says he's not top 15, if they say he's like top 20, y'all bugging. Y'all must not look at basketball the same way I look at basketball, because I'll tell you right now, Russell Westbrook is, like, them stats are inflated. Anybody else? Joel Embiid? Maybe. But Joel Embiid's in the top 10. Who else? Who else you got? Paul George? Never won a title. What else? Who else?
Anybody I name is not going to have won a title.
Go for it.
Tatum.
Bro, listen, I want to make this known. Jason Tatum is a really good basketball player.
Anthony Davis?
Anthony Davis is in my top 10, actually. Keep going.
I can go over a whole list of people. I'm putting Middleton in the top 20, but he's not a top 10. To me, a top 10 is a superstar. So even, if he's a superstar, why didn't his own teammate not say that that's a super team?
They're not a super team. These dudes were, okay, let me break something down. Giannis was drafted, okay? Chris Middleton came to the Bucks via trades, the G League, the full 9. Okay, Tatum. If y'all putting Luka, okay, let me make something.
Luka, Jokic, the MVP, Jokic. You're not putting the MVP over a role player,
bro. The MVP is voted by a bunch of writers.
Wow.
And are we gonna really say that Jokic is better than Chris Middleton? I can tell you right now, Jokic don't play no kind of defense.
Okay, a bunch of writers. I remember having a conversation with you on this show. You didn't name Chris Middleton as one of your MVP hopefuls.
Oh, but here's the thing, man. If we're gonna hang our head on this, okay, let me break this down. if you're going to hang your head on the fact that Chris Middleton wasn't an MVP candidate, but yet he played so well throughout the playoffs, he dropped 20, 25 plus in the playoffs. Where was Luka Doncic this playoffs? Where was Joker? Where's Jason Tatum?
Because none of those players had a top 3 player or top 5 player right on side of them.
But here's the thing. It's one thing, like, you know how LeBron has to recruit all these players in order to get the blah, 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 blah. I get that. But these dudes played 8 years together, and they weren't even the best players on their team when they were playing. Like, when Giannis was drafted, they weren't even the best players on their team. And they went through the mud to get through this. Like, everyone's talking like, oh man, Middleton's trash or Middleton's not good. Like, he's not a top 10 guy. Y'all might want to look at Chris Middleton and start giving him his flowers, because that dude, if you're a basketball guy, take the fan out the equation. Take the fandom out of it. Does Luka Doncic play defense? No. Okay. You're saying Luka Doncic plays defense? Bro, stop. Come on, man. No.
It's amazing that you didn't have this conversation before the finals. He wasn't in your top 10 before the finals, and all of a sudden, Giannis wins a championship, and now his sidekick is your top 10.
Giannis is in my top 5, but Giannis wasn't even. So first of all, Middleton was not in my top 10 before the finals. Actually, before the playoffs. Giannis was not even in my top 5. Giannis was like number 9 to me. And now Giannis, believe it or not, has catapulted himself into, he's number 5. Because in no order: LeBron, KD, Steph, Kawhi Leonard, and now Giannis.
I'm putting Klay Thompson above him. But anyway, let me tell you my thoughts on the NBA Finals.
Please.
I was glad to see. Is my mic echoing?
No, sir.
Okay. I was glad to see, both teams not being super teams. I love seeing, teams that are built the right way. I know the Suns did add Chris Paul, but they were 8-0 in the bubble before Chris Paul. So I'm not, I am giving Chris Paul credit for bringing him to the finals, but we all knew that team was going to be good this year. So I would be happy with both teams winning. I was pulling for the Suns, but I am super excited about seeing Giannis. Anytime in sports where you have a guy like Giannis, I was a big fan, like with the whole Dirk Nowitzki thing, with one guy just taking over, and he doesn't need a super team. He stayed where he was drafted. I wish that would happen in New Orleans. Apparently, every time you go to New Orleans and get drafted, you get traded and you win a championship the exact next year.
You just decide you just don't want to be there anymore, but that's a whole nother conversation. Or you decide you want to go to Rich Paul and go chase dollars. But nevertheless, go ahead.
Definitely. But yeah, this was a really good finals. I was super hyped for it. I'm happy either way. There was no villain when it came to this finals like you would with like LeBron's or the Warriors. To me, it was a feel-good story on both ways. If Chris Paul would have got his, I would have been super excited for him. Giannis getting his, I'm super excited for him. So this to me was one of the better finals. I know I would prefer a Game 7 because anytime you get a Game 7, it's the 2 most exciting words in all of sports is Game 7. But this was definitely still worth watching, and I'm glad that Giannis finally got his trophy. I love his after the game antics of going to Chick-fil-A, ordering 50 chicken nuggets, and all his live Instagrams. I was all in for it. I was on Instagram watching like the other 150,000 people were.
What I loved, and I don't think gets much play, is that they win. He has the hat on, and he just sits in the stands, and he's like, "Oh my God!"
He's taking it in.
He takes it in, and for a guy that, was drafted and, someone took a chance on him that most people probably would not have taken. And to do right by his city, that gave him a chance, I loved it. Like I was just in complete awe. I love Giannis, the humbleness. I love the humbleness of the Bucks, period. I did want to see Chris win it. I really want to see Chris Paul win it because I think the tears would have came out and everything. And then we'll get into Chris Paul a little bit later, but it was a really good finals. I had no real complaints. Again, I'm a basketball guy. I love, as most people know, I coach basketball. That's my game. That's what I love. And I just start to finish loved it.
Definitely. Well, since you mentioned Chris Paul, that's our next topic. That's gonna be the big off-season story. Most likely is where does Chris Paul land? He has a really good team in Phoenix. He can go for another run. They're still a young team, but LeBron is calling, and when LeBron calls, people start listening. So, do you see him coming back to Phoenix or taking that option? Because he is on a player option this year. He can take the money and run and go elsewhere. Do you see him going to LA or somewhere else?
Okay, let me break this down for a second. The most that the LA Lakers could give him right now is like $9.9 million. So you're going to tell me that Chris Paul's going to take a $35 million pay cut to go play with LeBron with the chance of not even winning a title? No, not happening. I'm sorry. I'm going to just be honest. Whereas he could take a $10 million pay cut, come back to the Suns. They can still resign DeAndre Ayton, go over the luxury tax, and then resign Mikal Bridges and possibly bring in another 3-and-D guy. I think it makes so much more sense for Chris Paul to come back. Younger team, excuse me. It's a younger team. It's an up-and-coming team. And it's a team that's built to win a title. It was just sad and unfortunate that they ran into the Bucks. It's just the nature of the beast. I was telling someone this. I was telling my brother this, and I said that I think the Suns. I think the Bucks are like a lot of people. Again, it feels great, but a lot of people don't realize the Bucks were inches away from losing to the Nets. Inches. If Kevin Durant's foot was maybe an inch shorter, instead of size 17 to size 16, and they weren't on the line, we got a different story. On top of that, what if Trae Young doesn't get hurt all those games?
Stop it.
Right? And I know everyone's like, oh man, what if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. But what I'm saying is that we got to take into account that, so many things happened and so many things occurred. Again, even with the Anthony Davis injury, that was huge. But in terms of Chris Paul coming back, I think he should come back. I think he should go back to Phoenix. I think it all but makes sense. You can make your money. You can still keep the guys intact. Now all those young guys know what it takes to win the title. So now just go out there and do it.
This is my thing. First of all, 33 million is not nothing when it comes to a legacy. This guy has been in the league way too long to not win a championship and to care about $33 million. State Farm will pay him that money if they need it. Breaking news today, LeBron James became the first $1 billionaire in NBA history currently playing in the NBA. You don't think there's enough side money that can go Chris Paul's way to win a championship? Come on.
You really think that Chris Paul is going to cave in on 30-something plus $1 million to go play 1 year with LeBron?
We've seen it time and time again when it comes to players wanting to win a championship. They take pay cuts to win that championship because at the end of the day, people like you will not see them as being a great player because they don't have a ring.
Wait a minute. Hold up. First of all, how disrespectful are you to put up your ring finger on our show? That is so completely and utterly disrespectful. So to you, my friend, there you go. That's one. So that's one. Number two, I get the fact that everyone's talking about he needs to take the cut, win the ring, and then retire underneath the sunset. And of course, that's one of his best friends. I get it, but what we're failing to realize is that you're gonna go to a team. You're gonna go to a team that is older. They don't have all the pieces to the puzzle, and you're playing with Anthony Davis that cannot stay healthy. Like everyone's gonna talk about, Anthony Davis won a title. Yo, Anthony Davis won a title when COVID broke out and had 2 months off and then came back for the playoffs. That's how he won a title, because he got a chance to rest. I'm sorry. It might sound like hate, but I'm sorry. It's the God honest truth. The Lakers will, I think, and this is just my personal opinion, excuse me, they want a veteran player, a veteran point guard that can lead the team. I get it. However, it's not going to be Chris Paul. It's just not. I think Chris Paul is looking at this like, bro, why am I like, I'm not even thinking about the Lakers. I want to run this back with my guys. Like, we had a chance. We got beat 4 games straight in the
10
final.
years ago, baby. Not a year, what is it, 16, 17, 18? Like this, they're talking about retirement. This might be his last year. The only thing he's thinking about is the ring. And that at the end of the day, and plus he's looking at the East right now with Brooklyn gonna be back with a super team. Can Phoenix win a championship against Brooklyn if they're healthy? Versus going to LA with LeBron and AD, he gives him a better chance of winning that ring.
Man, listen, I'm gonna just say this and be 100% honest. The Nets will not win a title with Steve Nash as their coach. They won't even get to the NBA Finals. I'm gonna just be honest. That's
right.
Hold that
thought. Hold that thought. Because our next topic is who makes it to the finals next year. The way too early NBA championship predictions. Let's go.
I'm going to say this, and this is going to be so interesting. I don't even think Phoenix makes it to the finals next year.
So you're saying Chris Paul makes the wrong decision?
No. What I'm saying is that Chris Paul goes back to the younger, more hungrier team.
And goes home.
But the team that's gonna win the West is the Golden State Warriors. Y'all can say what y'all want. Steph led them as an 8 seed ish. I'm sorry. Klay is coming for blood. Klay Thompson has been sitting out for 2 years watching all these dudes and their shenanigans and get away with mass murder. And if you think that Golden State is going to sit with the 7th pick and the 14th pick and not make a move for a legit dude, y'all got to be tripping. So I'm going to tell y'all right now, the Golden State Warriors. I am saying this, and it might come off as blasphemy. People could say Jasper's crazy. Somebody needs to figure out what's in his glass. Jasper always has these crazy predictions ever since he shaved his head. I'm telling you right now, the Golden State Warriors will come out the Western Conference. Book it. Out of the East, I'm going to say this, and some people might get mad at me. I think the Milwaukee Bucks are going to repeat out of the East. The way that team is built, I just don't see anybody in a 7-game series beat them with an improving Giannis, an improving Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday playing very good as a point guard. The only person they're gonna have to sign Tucker. They may have to pay. I don't think they may have to pay a little bit to Portis. But aside from that, I think that Milwaukee's just built to repeat out of the West. I just see Golden State, Milwaukee. It just makes a little bit more sense to me. I don't see Brooklyn winning it. I don't see Brooklyn even getting to the finals only because, like, James Harden has a way of jacking up everything. And he's going to jack up the milkman's money. Like, if you putting your money on the Brooklyn Nets to get to the finals, please, by all means, I will put my Cash App up. You just send me that money. I will not waste your money. I will invest it accordingly. Just don't go bet it at Vegas. Just, give me your money. I'll invest it elsewhere. So to me, I got Brooklyn, not Brooklyn. I got Milwaukee coming out the East, and I have Golden State coming out the West. The champ. I'm gonna say Golden State in 7.
Wow. Well, I don't have neither one of those teams making the finals. I think you're a product of the moment. I see them being just like the Dallas Mavericks, a special circumstance situation. If a lot of injuries didn't happen, you just talked about it a while ago. If this didn't happen, if that didn't happen, well, guess what? We have another year, and it can't all happen again. It was the perfect storm for the Bucks to win a championship. I tip my hat to them, but at the end of the day, it was a perfect storm. They were not the best team all year round in the NBA.
Who
They
was?
had a great circumstance happen. Huh?
Who was? Who's better than them?
When Brooklyn was healthy, they were better. Phoenix had a better record than they did.
Brooklyn can't stop nobody. They can't stop the common cold. Justin, they can't stop you from winning a fantasy football championship. Okay? They can't stop the common cold.
To that defense, nobody can stop me from winning the fantasy football championship.
The disrespect. The disrespect. That's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna just start putting instead of just put up the empty ring fingers. There you go, buddy. So terrible and disrespectful.
Right. Well, in the East, this is gonna sound really repetitive. It's gonna sound like what everybody else is saying, but at the end of the day, as long as Kyrie Irving doesn't mess it all up, because as far as I'm concerned, Kyrie is the poison of that team, not James Harden. Kyrie will rest when he wants to, take a break when he wants to, tell you about how the world is flat and not round when he wants to.
Okay.
And he sometimes I don't know if he even wants to play basketball. Neither does a team. So if anybody is in a toxic trait in that organization, it's Kyrie Irving. But if they all stay healthy, I don't think there's a defense in the league that can stop them. So I still have Brooklyn coming out of the East, and I think the West. Like I said before, I think the Lakers land Chris Paul, and if they land Chris Paul, I have to see them as the favorites going into the season. When you have Chris Paul, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, who's going to stop that?
Hold your thought until August. Hold your thought till August, and we'll talk about that a lot more.
Of course, this is the way too early predictions. Lots of things are going to change. I'm sure our predictions will change, but we got to throw it out there just so that when it happens, we can pop our collar and say we called it first.
I'm going to pop my collar, and I'm going to just sip my glass of Moscato in peace.
All right, our next topic. This week starts the NFL training camp. It's that time of year. Exciting times where fantasy football drafts are happening. People are getting excited. We got a preseason game in 2 weeks. This is the time of the year for football fans. But there's a couple of different quarterback competitions out there. What quarterback competition are you most excited for to see in training camp?
Two of them. I like the Chicago Bears' competition. I think they should just go ahead and start the rookie. I really do. I like Justin Fields. I really like Justin Fields. I think he's gonna tear it up. I think he's gonna make the NFC North very interesting if he starts.
Wow.
May not be this year. It might be a little tricky. It might be, but it's gonna make it slightly interesting. So that's one of them. The second one that I'm very, 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 very interested in is, of course, in New Orleans. I want to know what's Sean Payton's going to go with. Is he going to go with Jameis and trust that he doesn't make no tomfoolery mistakes? Or is he going to go with Taysom Hill, who safe but scary at the same time because you don't know if he's ready for that gimmick life. So for me, those two are very, 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 very interesting quarterback battles.
All right. Well, the two that I'm interested in, number one would be, like you said before, the Chicago Bears. Not because I think that Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, like someone likes to call him, is worthy of even being in the competition. But the thing is, they gave him a big contract. They promised him, if you come to Chicago, you're going to be our starter. And then they drafted Justin Fields, who, in my opinion, should be the starter from day one. I think he's a better quarterback than Andy Dalton. I'm not an Andy Dalton guy. So I think that one's the most intriguing quarterback competition because, honestly, it could go either way. And if it goes to Justin Fields, you're going to see a mad Andy Dalton because he really, he took a shot to go to Chicago with promises. So, and then the other one I'm interested in seeing is in New England because you got Mac Jones, who was drafted in the first round by Bill Belichick, which never happens. And you got Cam Newton. I personally think Mac Jones is a bust. But Cam Newton didn't do great last year. I mean, they had to change the whole offense to an option offense just so he can run because he wasn't playing very well. So do you see Bill Belichick pulling that trigger and taking Cam out there and putting the rookie in? I think that one could be very interesting.
But is it Cam's fault that COVID occurred and he never got a real training camp?
Come on, man.
He didn't get a real training camp. And so I'm not saying that Cam is a stud QB. I'm not saying I would draft a guy in fantasy football because I'm never going to draft a. Well, I drafted one. No, I was pretty terrible when I drafted Cam Newton. But anyway, I won't draft like to me. I'm not saying that Cam Newton is a guy that oh my god I'll draft him in fantasy football. I would go to the depths of the earth to pick him if I was a GM. No, but and this goes for any quarterback. If you didn't get an opportunity to get a full training camp with your guys, then there's going to be some rapport issues. Look at the Bucks. It took them, luckily, like half of the season to finally catch it and click. Cam walked into a team with what? No wide receivers that you can name. No real good tight ends that you can name. A busted running game and a defense that was in shambles. So Cam was stuck from day one. But if you give Cam some time and rapport with his guys, and that goes for any quarterback, things could be different.
I mean, I hope you're wrong, but I see it being interesting. I think we could see both of them having a lot of snaps in preseason with the first teamers.
Right. But I do like Mac Jones a little bit, but I could also see where the bust potential lies.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, they had some new breaking news today coming out of the NFL. The headquarters said that if any team, because as of right now, all teams are supposed to be at 85% vaccinated on the roster. But if any team has an outbreak of unvaccinated players that causes them to have to reschedule a game, if it cannot be rescheduled within the 18-week NFL schedule, which means if you don't have the same bye week as the team you're playing right now, pretty much, then you automatically forfeit the game. Now, we just had reports from players like DeAndre Hopkins, who said that he doesn't know how much more of a future he's going to have in the NFL with these kind of restrictions because he doesn't believe in the vaccination. Do you see this putting pressure on NFL players to get vaccinated? And do you think it's a fair rule?
So before we continue, Justin, check your phone. What I'm going to say is this. It will be an issue. I personally, and this is just my personal opinion, I think that I don't think the NFL season is going to last the whole time. I think that this,
you've been taking the same stance with the Olympics. Now you're going to take it with the NFL. Come on, man.
Are you seeing a rise in numbers right now?
Not where I live.
Oh, okay. So there's a rise in cases in different parts of America. I think that I personally think we should pause and get these numbers down, then reset. In addition to that, I think it's unfair, but the NFL has to take some sort of a stance on something. But I also feel like it's very unfair because you're forcing people to say, "Hey, go take a vaccine that's unproven." Like you're saying, "Hey, go get the vaccine," but yet I don't know any long-term effects of said vaccine. Only because I want to play, or I want because of this business. No, I haven't even got the vaccine, but I did catch COVID. But
me too.
My thing is at this point, I'm not a fan of go get the vaccine because if not, you got to forfeit games. I'm not doing that. My life is more important than a football game. Like we can run that back next year, or we can run it back 2 years from now, whatever. I'm not doing that at the cost of my life because no one knows what the long-term effects of this vaccine is.
Facts.
Justin, do me a favor. Just turn on my mic real fast. I'll be right back.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, um, I'm one that doesn't believe in the vaccinations because I don't know the side effects like the franchise said. I think it will put some pressure on certain players because they don't want to be responsible for their team's loss. But what I don't understand is that if the NFL requires you to have 85% vaccinated, which teams are in compliance for the most part, and that means only 15% are unvaccinated. If there's a breakout of those 15%, because according to the world, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to worry about getting COVID, correct? I mean, that's the whole purpose of the vaccination. The thing is, like, why should it be rescheduled? We had teams last year, who played with multiple players out. We had whole quarterback lineups completely out because of COVID. The Denver Broncos played the New Orleans Saints last year without a quarterback on the roster. They had to play one of their wide receivers as quarterback. So what I'm not understanding is if you have at most 15% of your players out, why can't you still have a game? I don't remember last year of actual cancellations. We had a lot of teams that had outbreaks, had to adjust to it. The New Orleans Saints had an outbreak. The whole running back community had to be out. They had to bring people from the practice squad. Kamara had to be out, along with the backups. So it's gonna happen, but you plan accordingly. And like many people say, next man up. So I don't understand why it's such a big deal. I don't see it being really implicated this year. But I think it's gotten some players really spooked, and because it puts the blame on them. If something like this happens, you're going to have an organization blame one player, because if it's one player who brought it in, if they're the one that tested positive, and you have multiple teammates get have to be out because you are tested positive and you are traced are the originator of it, then you're pretty much claiming that one player is the reason for your loss, and puts a lot of pressure on that one player. And I don't know how right it is. So we'll see. You back with us, Jasper?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that's my opinion on it. In other news in the NFL, we have Cam Akers, starting running back for the Los Angeles Rams. Lots of people had them in the Super Bowl this year because of their accusation of Matthew Stafford. But now their star running back goes down. Do you see that affecting the Rams' chance of making it to the Super Bowl?
Sign AP. Sign AP. Sign AP. Sign AP. Sign AP. Bottom line. Sign AP. Listen, I don't think Cam Akers was a star, but what I'm going to say is that, I mean, you have other running backs in your stable, but if you really and truly need a guy that you can trust, sign Adrian Peterson. He's not a bad running back. I mean, he got you 1,000. He for the year season Washington, he got a couple of 1,000-yard seasons. When he was in Detroit, he almost got 1,000. I think it was like 300 yards short of 1,000. And that was when he was in a group of running backs that was actually pretty young and pretty talented. I personally think that I don't think this is going to stop the show so much because that defense is really good too. I just think that if the Rams really want to put an emphasis on the run, go get a veteran running back. Again, Adrian Peterson.
So what do you say to those who say they should re-sign Todd Gurley?
Todd Gurley's knees are done. I'm being honest. Like the big knock on why the Rams let him go in the first place was because his knees wouldn't hold up a whole season. And Todd Gurley actually got the same treatment that Kobe did when he went to Europe. They had to drain his knee, and then they did something with the blood and the plasma, and then they drained it back into his knee. Like Todd Gurley's jacked. Like his knees are jacked. So I personally, if it were me, I'm not signing Todd Gurley. I would go after Adrian Peterson because at least Adrian Peterson's got durability.
Makes sense. I do think they need to sign someone because Henderson is not that guy. I mean, he helps him. He's a good backup running back, but he's not that guy. And I think this year they're kind of going all in because they're not going to have Matthew Stafford for a lot longer. He's at the end of his career. This is kind of a do or die time. Put up or shut up. So they need to make a run now. So they need to get a better running back in there. So I kind of agree with you. I think Adrian Peterson is a really good choice for the Rams. I see him as being one of the greatest running backs of all times, and I think he can really do some good work in LA. So I agree with you for once. I think the wine may be working on me tonight. All right, well, we got tomorrow night, less than 24 hours away from the greatest sports event in the world, the Olympics. What could be a bigger disappointment for the United States? USA basketball not getting a gold or USA women's soccer not getting a gold?
I think it's the men's basketball team. And I'm going to tell you why. I think that it would be very similar to when the men did not win gold back in like the 80s, if I'm not mistaken, and they got knocked off. And then they had to go out and, yeah, that NBS belt is looking mad shiny. So I think the men, it's going to be very hard for me to not bash the men, because you had a chance to get LeBron. LeBron said no. And I think you should have begged LeBron. Again, Kevin Durant's not a leader. I'm just going to be honest, he's not a leader. Kevin Durant is someone's Batman, or somebody's Robin, not a Batman. They need a guy, like they need a face. They need a face of the team, and Kevin Durant's not it. So if the USA basketball team does lose and not win gold, it's going to be an extreme disappointment because I guarantee you in 4 years USA basketball is going to come back with a vengeance, and they're going to figure out a way to get, whether it be like a Steph Curry or somebody to say, you know what, we're going to win for USA basketball, Dame Lillard, whoever. So to me, I think that, and then with Devin Booker and other players, Chris Middleton being able to play for the USA basketball team, that's going to help a little bit. But if they don't win, it's going to be ugly. Like the women's soccer team, I ain't gonna front. There's some really good soccer teams out there, and it'll sting, but it's not gonna sting like USA basketball will.
This is my thing. I think we're more prideful of our basketball just because we dominated for so long. But to me, the Olympics for most of these NBA players, it's more of a side gig, a hobby. Hey, they named me one of the best players. Let me go play some exhibition games, and it doesn't mean a lot to them. These girls, it means the world to them for them to win gold. This is their bread and butter. They don't make millions upon millions of dollars like the NBA players do. Them winning the gold is their ticket to their dreams.
Hey, that's how they get on the Wheaties box. Shout out to that women's soccer team that won it all. It's not Judy Foudy. I can't remember her name. When she took out, like when she scored the game-winning goal, and then she like took off her jersey, she was like, yeah. I can't remember her name, but
I mean, this is everything to them. This means the world. If this team loses the NBA basketball, the USA basketball loses, I mean, they're going to be a disappointment. But their careers will go on. They'll still win. They'll still have millions of dollars. They'll still go try to win championships, which mean the most to them.
Yeah, but if you don't win the gold, I guarantee you're not going to walk inside the grocery store without getting clowned.
No, come on, man.
Let Kevin Durant walk. Let Kevin Durant not win a gold medal. That joker is never going to walk around the grocery store without somebody getting on him because he didn't win a gold medal. Guaranteed.
You think that if he wins a championship in Brooklyn, he can't go to any shop in New York City and get
Not
whatever he
going
wants
to. Look, Justin, listen. If the Brooklyn Nets win an NBA title, I will send you. Hear me
Oh,
out.
here we go. Go ahead.
I have a wager. If the Brooklyn Nets win the NBA title, I will send you $100 worth of original boudin, and I will send you another $100 of the smoked boudin.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Make sure y'all record this. It's a big night for me.
However, if Kevin Durant leaves Brooklyn without an NBA title, okay, I'm gonna have a special note that I need you to read to everybody on NBS Central, and it will not be derogatory. I'm just gonna I'm requiring of you to read said note.
Deal.
That's how much
All right.
confidence I got in this. But go ahead.
But yeah, I really think that it means way more to the women. I know as fans, personally, I'm not a big soccer fan. I do watch it, but I'm not huge on it. I'm a big basketball fan, so I do want our team to win gold. But at the end of the day, to them, this means the world. Like
Mm-hmm.
without this gold, they're gonna feel like failures in their career. I don't care what happens in the grocery store in Brooklyn. In their career, they're gonna feel like failures. They're not, at the end of the day, if Durant doesn't win this gold, man, he's still gonna play next year in the NBA. He's still gonna make his $50 million a year. He's still gonna be on commercials, and we'll still be talking about him on the show every week. Whereas these girls, this is the only time we talk about them. This is the only time they get their light shine to the world. So this is their time to shine, and if they don't shine, they may not get that opportunity again. So to
What's the
me,
what's the song on whenever the NCAA championships after the NCAA championship game? You had your one shining moment. This is their one shining moment.
yeah. So to me, I say it's women's soccer. I think this will be the biggest disappointment if they don't win gold. Just my opinion.
I agree.
All right, our last topic is something that I'm interested in hearing your opinion on because we kind of touched based on it last week. So let's hear your opinion on it. Logan Paul is in talks to fight Anderson Silva in a boxing match. Are you tuning in?
No, Logan Paul is a joke. I'm saying this right now, and I want hashtag Logan Paul. You can put it on his IG, you can put it on his Twitter, whatever you want. Logan Paul is a joke. The Paul brothers are a joke. Okay? If they were to challenge me, yes, I'd beat the brakes off of them. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not interested in this. This shouldn't even be on pay-per-view. This shouldn't even be on YouTube. This shouldn't even be on regular television. They need to pay us to watch that.
Wow.
I don't want to see Anderson Silva, who is a great UFC fighter and is past his prime, going up against a guy that, quite frankly, is a joke. Like, he's a joke. Logan Paul is a joke. I will say it right now. I will beat Logan Paul in a 12-round fight. I would. 12, 8, 4, 5, doesn't matter. True X Sports Junkie, I'm telling you now. Y'all could post this show. Y'all could take the clip, hashtag Logan Paul, however you want to say it. I will say it. This dude sucks. Logan Paul will lose by knockout to me. I call it. Anderson Silva would beat my tail, but not Logan Paul. Logan Paul will lose. Okay? I'm just going to say that now. Go ahead, Justin.
So
I'm pretty
are you not
sure you're going to waste. Are you gonna waste your pay-per-view dollars on this fight?
No. But are you not interested?
I'm not even gonna try to illegally stream it. That's how serious it is right now.
Would you not would you not want to see Logan Paul get his butt whipped? Like, would you not pay to see that?
I don't want to pay to see anything by the name of Logan anything. These dudes are trash. They are terrible. They are a joke. Truex is sports junkie. I am telling you now, I would whip each one of them in a fight. I don't even understand why we are like these dudes are a joke. They're a joke. Like they can't fight. They're terrible. These dudes are the worst. I don't know why we're doing them. No, I'm not a hater. I just crush a lot. Okay, sorry.
So are you officially challenging the Logan brothers to a fight anytime?
You tell them my number is 337-739-0833. I will knock them fools out. Clean cold out.
Wow. But you heard it here on the NBS
glass and then sip on a nice glass of a nice glass of Moscato right after I beat them. And guess what? I'm gonna keep the face looking nice and right too.
Well, if you're watching out there, if anyone has the Logan brothers information, tag them in this post because we want to see it. Our very own Jasper the franchise go toe to toe with any one of the Logan brothers.
These dudes are trash, man. I don't even know why we even doing this.
Let's make it happen.
These dudes are trash.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the show. I do have a special shout out. We have a friend of our show, someone who's been on our show. Jasper, you interviewed her. Lovely interview. Great interview. We had Miranda Maverick on recently. She is fighting this week. So we want to show some love on the NBS show. Check her out this weekend. She's fighting Maycee Barber. She's on her way up to trying to be a champion. She's won her last 5 or 6 fights. She's on her way up there. So please give her some support. We love her here on the NBS show. Jasper, what's your shout outs, man?
Hey man, shout out to Miranda. You know, I hope you get this W. You know, you were an awesome interview. It was mad dope. It was mad fun. I wish you well. I want to shout out to everybody on the NBS team. I want to shout out to Yvonne. I'm still working on the details, getting you back on the NBS Central brand. I want to shout out to True and Keo for the blasphemy that they've been talking over these past couple of weeks. I just want to let them know right now, quit sipping on the hate and sip on the wine. Shout out to Marlon. Shout out to Ray. Shout out to the whole NBS crew. Mike Larson. Hopefully we can get him back for Larson Live during football season. Shout out to the first responders out there because now they're putting in extra work because of this COVID Delta variant. I want to shout out to all the I want to send a special shout out to our youth, man. I want to tell them, hey, look, in life, like you guys are our future. Okay? Like we've done what we've done, you know, we've lived the life and we're still living our lives accordingly. But you guys are going to be our future cops, our future ITs, our future teachers, our future. So whatever you do, man, protect your dream and aim for the moon. And if you miss, you right there with the stars. And I just want to send, more shout outs to everybody out there, peace, love, and blessings. Again, nothing but positivity. And just know, look, and stress, anytime you have a stressful day, just remember the franchise told you, sip a glass, life is lovely. Go ahead, Jasper.
So I want to give out, first of all, to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without you, there's nothing. I want to special thanks out to all the first responders, to our military, those people out there who are protecting us, who's serving us, giving up their lives so that we can do things like this and live comfortably. So I always appreciate them. I appreciate all the fans we have out there. Those of you who stick around every week, listen to Jasper, get a little tipsy and say some crazy things that normal people wouldn't say. I appreciate you sticking around for all the nonsense that Jasper spits out. And, we have those guys out there who tune into us every week, and I really appreciate y'all. Shout out to the whole NBS brand, man. We have True X, new guy Q, Chris. Hopefully, we have some new shows coming out this fall. So we're excited. We got the fantasy football coming up. Got to defend my championship. I got a case here because we have other guys like True X who win a championship and put it around their shoulder because it's temporary. Mine's in a case because it's staying there for a long time. So you know what time it is. It's time for me to defend my championship this year. So when y'all ready, let's do this. But for another week, another great show. This is Just Justin and your boy Franchise. What you got, brother?
I got one more thing. I'm calling some people out tonight. True X Sports Junkie, I want to see you. Keo, I want to see you. Okay? Yvonne Maddox, I want to see you. Duke, I want to see you. I'm calling that. Marlon, I want to see you. I'm the baddest man. Look, I am Aaron Rodgers, the baddest man in the planet. I'm calling all you cats out. If you gonna start talking blasphemy about me, I'm calling you out. Okay? You know what? I'm calling True X Sports Junkie. You know what? After I smash him, he ain't gonna be True X Sports Junkie. He's gonna be True X the Sports Flunky. I love it. Let's go.
All right, for your boy Just Justin, the Franchise. We thank y'all for tuning in for another week. I hope y'all tune in next week. Please tune in to all the NBA shows. Even though we give them hell, we got to give them all the love in the world. Let's talk about it. They got their battle rap show right after it. You got Chris's college show once a week. Man, please check them out because this brand is blowing up, and we all got to give each other love. Even if they come in second every week, we got to keep pushing. We got to keep pushing. So from your boy Just Justin Jasper, it's been good. Y'all have a good night.